Hi everyone and welcome to today's morning report on Thursday, the 22nd of October with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Hantec Markets. The European trading session's got off to a mixed start really. It was due to open quite a little bit lower on the slide, but just sort of the DAX has bounced back a little bit, but still there's an element of caution, and that comes in front of this ECB meeting that we've got today. The meeting that announces monetary policy at 12:45 UK time is not expected to change rates at all, but the press conference will be the potentially exciting bit. With speculation over what Mario Draghi is going to do, because his dovish press conference last month and the sort of strength of the euro recently has sort of led to speculation, the fact that they could well be set to announce further easing measures, or at least certainly start to talk about them. There was an increase in bank lending in the Eurozone that was announced on Tuesday, so maybe that sort of takes that potential away slightly, so that it has led to this sort of uncertainty that's being seen today. But I still think that Draghi could well sort of do his usual trick of trying to jawbone the euro lower anyway, as he tends to do when the euro gets sort of relatively high, sort of 114, 115 area, which is sort of not too far away from where it is at the moment. Aside from that, we've had sort of stock markets that are not really doing a great deal in the last few days. Reason for a bit of reduced sentiment as well has been this oil price that has slid off, and yesterday it sort of moved down towards a 3-week low on that WTI price. So it continues to slide back towards possibly what could be a test of this really important support around 43.20 on WTI oil. And it certainly is sort of still on the slide. And we had sort of 2% lower yesterday. It's just bounced a little bit today, but certainly I think still under a little bit of pressure. The gold price has just found a bit of support today after weakness again, but it's back below 1170 and into that support band. I'll talk about that in the technicals chat in a bit. But certainly the commodity prices falling away is not necessarily all that positive for the markets, certainly considering we've had the copper price also falling away as well. In terms of our economic data today, we've got quite a lot actually. We've got the UK retail sales in a minute, and that's forecast to come in at... Forecast to come in slightly lower at... slightly higher at 4.6% adjusted. In terms of the year-on-year data, which would be a decent number actually on retail sales again. So retail sales continues to be decent in the UK. Then into the afternoon, we've got the weekly jobless claims. Jobless claims fell to record levels, 255 last week. So the expectation is slightly higher than that, 265 this week, but still at low levels. And the existing home sales at 3 o'clock is expected to grow by 1.4% at 5.38 million. So that takes me on to my chart today, which is the Canadian loonie. Interesting, we had a pretty dovish outlook from the the Bank of Canada yesterday, and also downgrading of growth forecasts. So that sort of led to the loonie falling sharply on the day, which sent dollar CAD higher. And we've had this move, and certainly a turnaround. 3 weeks in a row, 3 weeks of consecutive sort of losses really on the Canadian loonie, the dollar loonie pair, and that has now certainly turned around. We've broken above that initial resistance at 30.80, which was the sort of key reaction high that needed to be broken to sort of sense that there was a turnaround, and that certainly seems to be the case now. Momentum indicators confirming that turnaround. Buy signal on the stochastics confirmed. MACD lines ready to cross higher. Also RSI pushing higher as well. So generally across the board there's an improvement on this dollar CAD chart. Here we see the hourly chart. Bit of an uptrend going on there, nicely forming higher lows and higher highs, and we have seen this breakout. Here we see the breakout above that, a bit more, but above that sort of resistance there at 130.80. Now this sort of lends us into a nice band of support between 130.45 and 130.80. I think if you saw a sort of drift back, which you may well do with these momentum indicators just unwinding on the hourly chart, stochastics certainly near-term sell signal, short-term sell signal I should say, and MACD line sort of crossing over, so there could be a bit of a corrective slide on this dollar CAD chart, but anything into that sort of 30.45 towards 30.80 support band I think would be a decent area. You've got this nice uptrend here, you've got all the moving averages on the hourly chart rising, and I think this sort of little dips will be bought into now on this loonie, so it looks pretty positive, and I think there is certainly scope for further reaction higher in this recovery. So I wish you good luck in your trading on the dollar CAD today, and I will speak to you later. Thank you.